Good afternoon. Let me see. Am I audible? I seem audible. As audible as I am. And you can't see it from this camera angle, but this looks like a wreck, the place we live. 'Cause it is still a pandemic ongoing, and I've decided to start renovating stuff, which is a messy business in a rather small apartment. But that's what I've been doing for the last few days. So I've been doing floors and putting up shelves and installing refrigerators and various small stuffs. I guess we all need to find ways to keep ourselves occupied, and from the store where I go to buy building supplies, it seems like everybody is equally fed up with the place they live in and need to paint it or cut something or change a door. But that's not the main topic of conversation. Actually, what is the main topic of conversation? Well, that's you guys. And I see that a few people have already showed up. So, hello Dave, hello Sylvia, hello Kay, hello Jane, and some others. I think Julia. Thought I saw you in the very beginning. And as you can see, I now have this amazing stream bot that is supposed to, post stuff now and then, like links to help people find the stream. But it posts both on Twitch and on YouTube, so it becomes doubled here. I need to tweak that somehow, because that's, at least 100%. Well, a lot of percent more than necessary. But I'm audible, I hope, and I hope you are doing okay. You can write in the chat. Let me know where you are and how you're doing. Like you can say Denmark, and despite being in Denmark, doing okay, which, is what it is. And it's the 21st of December. So this is the longest night and the shortest day. And in Stockholm, that really means something, because the sun goes up very late and it goes down quite early. So it's more or less constant darkness. So Sylvia, doing okay but bored? Okay, yeah, we're hearing you. Good. Yeah, it's boring. When Hollywood makes movies about, calamities or, a grander scale, it seems to be very, action-filled. But I think, at least from my point of view, this global pandemic isn't as dramatic as it was made out to be, but it certainly is boring. And what is it now? 9 months in this weird sort of alert state. Of course it gets to us. I mean, it gets to anyone. It's a slow grind. I think the lack of surprises is what gets to me the most. I mean, you know exactly what to expect on a day, and you don't run into an old friend or whatever. I mean, everything is just so fucking predictable, and I think that's against the human nature. We're built to handle uncertainty and make quick decisions, and that's one of the things. If we were just sit around coping with time passing, I think there are other creatures on this planet that are so much better than, like koalas or something. They don't give a fuck. So a pandemic wouldn't be such a life altering thing, but for us, I think it goes against our nature to just try to stay calm and reasonable, and we don't know when it ends. So yeah, that is of course. Let's see, Jane doing fine, having a long walk in the woods yesterday. That helps. That really helps. Actually, my employer thinks it helps so much that they sent every employee, which is funny. They ordered like a Christmas gift. They do that. It's not really a Christmassy thing, but it's a book about, you know, places to walk in the forest in the Stockholm area. So okay. Problem is that the fucking book is so heavy that they don't want to put the amount of money that it costs to send it out. So you have to go to the office and get it. But you can do it, you know, whenever it suits you. Or if you live in the city center like I do, some of the other managers live close by, so I got one in my hand. But still, maybe not the most modern way of solving it, that, you know, everybody has to like travel to get this stuff, so that they can go into the forest and avoid, I don't know, public traveling. In any case, it's I mean, I love the gesture, and it's typically Swedish or Scandinavian, I suppose, is that, you know, whenever we feel a bit, you know, what to do, oh, let's go into the forest. So it's not just the black metal cliche. We are really, we love this stuff. Max, that wasn't yesterday. If you see this, hello Max, it's been a long while. But I hope you're doing good. And I saw that you are now working in Umeå University. So that makes us colleagues in a way. Anna, hello. I don't know if people like the stream, if they actually are watching it. So but I mean, I'm mumbling on. Anna used to throw the most awesome New Year's parties, but this year it's not possible. I'm coming to that. At least you have some beautiful forests. We do. I mean, Scandinavia, but I think every person loves the place where they like grew up. So for me, the Scandinavian forests are, well, Swedish, Norwegian, Finnish. It's all taiga, so it's the same forest as in, you know, across Russia. But I love the forest, but I also love nature in other places. Down by the Mediterranean, it's also really nice. It's different, but you also have pine forests, different pine trees. But in the autumn, I've been walking the Lycian road along the Mediterranean in Turkey several times actually, and it's really wild. And I mean, you trek through old Roman ruins and you know, modern rural Turkish villages. It's lovely. You get a lot of sweet coffee because people are really friendly, and there are these nice like bed and breakfast places where you can sort of find a place to crash and have some raki with the locals. It's I really would like to do that again. And there in the autumn, it's like a great Swedish summer day in the forest, and it smells the same. So yeah, and I love the American nature. I mean, the redwoods in California, these huge trees, majestic. There we don't have those. Everything is bigger in America. But yeah, let's see. I will try to at least. I was about to say the beauties and the differences. Love, yeah. Doing 19 to 20 kilometers every weekday, but not after pandemic. The start before because I have some health issues. Yeah, I mean, walking, as simple as it is among the most beneficial things we can do. I used to do like jogging. Running sounds a bit more ambitious than I am, but I tried to do like 5 kilometers fair speed every other day. But during the pandemic, I haven't, and I know I should, and I know it's really good for you. And we have right now there's a Swedish like brain professor that's really hyped, but he talks a lot about the positive effects of what physical activities can do for your mental well-being. And in these times, I mean, everything you can do will help. So yeah. And I think almost everyone can walk, and that is like moving something rather than nothing is the most important. And then if you're able to run, because our head needs it, or at least my head needs it. But I can't really do it now. I try to walk at least 10 kilometers a day, but it's I don't know. I have good weeks when I feel pretty alert, and then I have other weeks like this week where I really can't find the energy to do that. But I've been doing some practical stuff instead. Doing floors. I have the utmost respect for people who do floors for a living, who really make it neat. It's a lot of work. I still quite happy with how it turned out, but it's a lot of work. And a professional person can do it quickly and so much better. But yeah, at least we all got time. What's new in Sweden? What's new now is that it's not going so well. We have a big increase in number of infected people, and big increase also. It comes naturally in people that succumb to this illness. So our government has started to act. I think it feels also they want to show more resolve, because if you look around the world, those places that locked down harshly and those that did less, in some of the places it really seems to have made things calm down, like Australia, but then we have other places where United Kingdom has it really tough, and they have done lockdown. So I don't know how much. Of course it can't harm, but I'm not 100% sure. It's up to every person to really keep distance and really be mindful. And I think no matter what laws and regulations, it's if people can try to do that, that is what helps. But in Sweden, we've been started to relax, I think, and it really is not going well right now. So now, first they put the max number of people that can be in a company to 8, and now they changed it from Christmas Eve to 4 people. And they're really trying to tell people to stay the fuck away from each other during Christmas and New Year. And I don't know if it helps. I hope so. So I will celebrate Christmas very differently. Normally I spend it with family, but this year it will be just a few friends, and having Christmas dinner, and missing a lot of friends who are isolated in other places. Those that we will celebrate with are Germans that are isolated in Sweden for various reasons and normally travel home during the holiday seasons, but they can't. So yeah, we'll drink wine, traditional Swedish warm wine, the glühwein, and it's of course. I'm not suffering from it really, but it's even harsher with friends that I know that are completely isolated and can't meet anyone, and then FaceTime, Zoom, and stuff. It was okay in the beginning, but now I think it feels like we've done that, and we really need to meet people. But yeah, how are you guys gonna celebrate Christmas? Small party, big family gathering? I'm not gonna tell anyone, so you can write, but let me know. Or maybe you don't celebrate Christmas at all. I don't celebrate it for religious reasons, but I don't say no to having days off work and some slow, cozy evenings in the sofa with some candles, and even have an advent star and stuff. But I don't do it for religious reasons, but I certainly celebrate it. And you can always go back, yeah, but it's a pagan festivity. Yeah, sure. I don't give a fuck, really. Just it's a great pause in everything. So that's nice. Hello, Louise. We celebrate as we normally do with Norwegian Christmas dinner and friends over. One Christmas day we normally gather my whole family where we get really drunk, and that won't happen. I'm sorry. We do need to get a bit drunk with people, and but we'll get very drunk once this is over. I will be drunk for a week. Or you mean drunk with people? I've been drunk, not extremely drunk, but bit tipsy now and then, having some wine and then some more wine, a beer, maybe a little shot. Only a few friends for New Year's Eve. Yeah, we're also gonna celebrate with we're gonna be 4 people on New Year's Eve. But yeah, but like I said, since I know people who will celebrate all by themselves, I feel privileged. So I'm not complaining. It's a weird fucking year. We've been saying this, Elvira from Blackthorn. I've been saying their name a lot. I should, if I could play videos, I would. But yeah, they've been here, been on this stream. Check them out. They've been doing their stuff for a long time, and more stuff is happening. They are a cool band. Only been drunk with people a little too much during Corona period. Yeah, well, actually did sneak out and went to a castle to have a Christmas dinner on Friday night. It's a small castle, quite remote, very few people, a lot of distance between the tables, but they allow dogs, so our friends could bring their little Steph dog, who could also dine and enjoy, and there were other dogs, and they didn't enjoy each other so much, but quite the distance. So that was nice, but that's like the only Christmassy thing that's been going on here. Hello back, Privet, Elvira. It's good to see that people drop by, and like I said previously, I mean, when I see fellow musicians that do their live streams, I do drop by, but only to say hi and then sort of drift further. But I will be online next week. I will be online also after New Year, so I won't stop now. I will do this every Monday, but there will be, and the first guests are sort of booked. Ashton, where is he? Here he is. Hey. Stone is always doing great. He's waiting for something. No one really knows what, but he's very patient. He has no problem with pandemic, so he can wait this through. I wish I was Pikachu. Yeah, cool. I wish I was as patient as Stone, but where were I? Lost my thread there. Not really. Don't have a thread. But yeah, so we're down. Annika. So we're down to 4 people congregating, and we don't know how long that will be, but I mean, the vaccines have started to be distributed. Conspiracy theorists can fuck off. It's a good thing that we have people in white coats that actually research this stuff, and hopefully it will be enough to start pushing it back. So during next year, I mean, it won't be over in a long time, and the disease will most likely always persist now, but maybe we can go back to more of a normality, and that normality would sort of include live gigs, and I wish I can go and see a few live bands again, and I wish I can play again soon also. Elvira, do I play Skyrim? I did when it came out. I played it for a bit. I love it, but I'm on a console, so I don't have any cool mods or anything, so I did that for a while. But I'm mostly into racing games like Forza 7 and Trials Rising. Those are the two games that I played too much. But it's like I'm very competitive, so there I can race against myself and see if I can improve my times. But Skyrim was lovely. And I did play World of Warcraft back when it came out, but I had to delete my character and walk away because I am so much of an all-in person. So I was about to fuck up, work and stuff, because I can't really do anything with moderation. But if I could pick a genre, I mean, I wish there were like more Skyrim episodes available. I mean, the Elder Scrolls Online and stuff, I haven't done it yet. But if this pandemic continues for a long time, maybe I have to. But I'm starting to get really good times on Trials Rising. And I try to be online on Twitch playing now and then. But then I get anxiety because people who play there are so fucking good, and I'm just a casual. I'm a very intense casual, but I am not on the level that those that are really good are. So I haven't been doing it for some time, but I think it's also good that they can see that there are people that are human. I'm maybe in the top 3-4%. But the way up to the very best, it's a long way, and we'll see. But I'm getting better. Okay, glad to see that you listened to Blackthorn. Witcher 3, I've played. Yes, I played it. And then Elder Scrolls Online is great. I need to check it out. But like I said, I'm a bit, fuck. Is it good for my career and my music? I don't know, maybe. But I'm a fantasy nerd, so yeah, I definitely will have to try it. And Witcher 3 I love. I was not too impressed with the series, to be honest. I mean, I love the main actor, and he does a great job, and so does all the actors. But I just wish they had more budget and it was more, a little bit more epic. Because the story is one of the better. But the series, to me, it was. I'm not a girl, so I can't just watch him and be happy about it. I need some trolls and shit, but. I did like it, but I love the games. Also have the books. I haven't read them. Will need to. So yeah, there's some stuff that I have to do. Playing after I got my daughter because I'm too serious when I play, so I stop for my daughter. Yeah, that sounds like good parenting. Actually, I heard stories about couples that play too much, and that might be really bad for the kids. It's a huge time sink. Yeah, I mean, all good games are, and I mean these open world games. I mean, like I've been watching Twitch, and I mean, people are role playing in Grand Theft Auto 5, and I mean, so you can really decide. I'm gonna be a police officer in this game, and I'm gonna go on police. Not getting paid, but I'm still gonna do that job. My favorite is the American Trucker game. There are like fat American guys driving a truck through America, trucking for hours, and basically doing what others are doing and getting paid, but they do it for free, and they stream it. And I just love the fact that they do that, and the fact that I'm such a I don't know, weird person that I just get sucked in. Same with the flight simulator. I have this one Swedish pilot who does, he is a real pilot and he does everything by the book, and I just sit there for hours watching him like a fucking idiot. So he pretends to be flying and I'm watching him, What a time to be alive, right? But I mean, we do whatever we have to do to find some meaningful stuff. Twitch has become, it's like a rabbit hole for me. I'm fairly new to Twitch, but I am really it's inspirational to see people are really good at stuff, just showcasing it. Yeah, it's impressive. Before Christmas, New Year, I'm waiting for aliens to be beamed up with my to one of my favorite places. Maybe Santa might do that work. Who knows? I mean, I wouldn't be too fucking surprised if some aliens showed up and laid waste to the entire planet. I mean, it would be a befitting end. But on the other hand, I would be a bit pissed because I've been waiting now for 9 months to live again. So I mean, they could wait a few years, so at least give us a little bit of normality first. But I'm thinking that spring will be strange, and I don't think we will be able. Maybe RIKET, my smaller death metal band, maybe we could do a few underground gigs. Maybe with Netherbird, if we're lucky, we could do some gigs during next autumn. That would make me happy. But then again, so thinks every band. So it will be a lot of bands and a lot of concerts. But I heard the third mix. When you mix an album, different producers do it differently. But this producer, he first mixes the drums and pays attention to that, and then he does like the string instruments. So there's like all the guitars, bass. So I heard the next Netherbird album to the level now where we give him feedback on what we think of his way of arranging the string instruments. He will have his feedback tonight, and hopefully before Christmas Eve I get to hear the version where the vocals is also in place. So before New Year's there should be a new Netherbird album that is ready, and then who knows when it will be out, but I expect it late spring maybe. That would be great. But it's ironic because we haven't played live since we released this one. So we haven't played a single song from this album live. So we will have 2 albums worth of new tracks to pick from. And that is, it's fun in a way. But at the same time, we also need to play some older tunes. Yeah, we'll see. So it's weird. So we'll have to try to pick our favorites. We did start to rehearse a lot of these songs, or some of them. But yeah, then the world fell down. I was talking to a person in another like similar sized band, but that we should do some type of long concerts. Yeah. I don't think we're the band that anybody would like to see for 2 hours. I wouldn't like to play for 2 hours either. For me, I'm always, I don't know. This is different from different individuals in the band. We have a guitarist, Bassmark, who writes most of the stuff. He always wants us to play as long as possible, and also, if he got his way, will play at least one song that is completely unreleased and mostly new songs. And we should learn them, a week before the gig, because he has no problem learning the stuff that quickly. I am, however, not as capable. I need longer time to rehearse, and I really don't like, to change around or, input new stuff that I haven't really rehearsed enough. So I'm slow. I need to rehearse it quite a few times before I feel, okay, sure, I got this. So we are a little bit different. And I also tend to we should keep the set short. But I'm starting to understand that it needs to be a bit longer than I have been thinking. But I would say Netherbird, if we get to do it like an optimal gig for us, it's like 45 to 60 minutes. Not more than 60 minutes. You need it's such an energy drain So if you have like 20 years of really good songs, of course, people, you can play songs that everybody knows, then you can play a long concert. But we're not really in that position yet. But an hour we could do. An hour we have done also. Played longer than an hour. But say 45 minutes is pretty perfect for us right now. If you get bored so much, I suggest a film called Tok Tok on Netflix. It's a Spanish movie with English audio and caption available. Absolutely would cheer you up. Sure, I will look at it, but I will watch it with Spanish audio because I get crazy when it's dubbed. Because I grew up in Sweden, where we don't dub TV, we have subtitles. So I'm fairly used. This is how most Swedes learn English, is that when you're a kid you watch English movies but with Swedish subtitling. And I wish they played more French and German also, because then I'd pick up more of that. But I am very allergic to when there's sync problems between the voice and the stuff. So I tried to watch Dark with English audio, and it drove me nuts. So I prefer to watch it even if I don't understand the language. Oh, I talk and talk. But thank you for the suggestion. Thinking if I have any really good suggestions. Not super good. I watched a drama, like horror series drama called The Terror on Amazon Prime. I liked it. It's not super scary or super smart. It has fairly high ratings on Internet Movie Database, but I wouldn't say it's really fair. But I did like it. It's an horror flick set in the Arctic setting, so speaks to my Swedishness. In any case, I'm gonna be like a Santa, so I'm gonna give away a few CDs. So first CD gets to, and if you already have it, you can gift it to a friend, or you can sell it on eBay, and I'm sure you can make €5, 3, I don't know. But it's this one. It's Into the Vast Uncharted. The first one who writes something you learned during the pandemic, something you didn't know before that you learned, something you practiced and mastered, or something that I learned to play the piano, or I learned to I don't know, sleep. No, but something you learned during the pandemic, preferably something positive, because we need to think a little bit more positive. Did you learn Blast Piece, Snodderblade? There are Blast Piece on this one as well. If you learned that, you get this. And since I am me, I will also throw in a trinket. I have trinkets. Oh, so you learned it. That's cool. So you get a keychain, Netherbird keychain, which is phenomenal if you're a blast beater. And you get this CD. And I'll send it to you. But you need to do me a favor. You need to send me an email too, and I will input it here on the different devices, just so it's easier to see. Because I might gift away another few things, so the rest of you can also get some of the stuff. I wish I could gift you money or like world peace or stuff. Send an email to nephente@netherbird.com with your postal address, and I'll send it. You'll have it next year, but early next year, I hope. And kudos for learning blast beats. It's impossible to play drums in itself, and drummers are a different species altogether. I will always be most impressed by that ability to play such complicated stuff. As a vocalist, I stand in awe. Nothing I do comes close to being that tricky. But I was supposed to say a few words about the Ghost Collector today, but I will actually postpone the deeper analysis of that. But the Ghost Collector, the first Netherbird album, it came out in 2008. Wait, I will fix a thing. I'm back. First time it came out, it looked like this. So it's a digipack, and if you find this edition, avoid it the promo version because it's just a cardboard sleeve with the CD. But the digipack, it looks like this. This one has been sold out for a long time. It was released by a record label called Pulverized, and in Singapore. Great label. They weren't too happy with the sales. I mean, we didn't sell a lot of albums in those days, but it's super sold out. So this is the only copy I have. We had a few now and then, and if I saw, I used to try to get a bit more, but now it's really, really hard to find. So that one I would recommend you to buy if you want, you know, that's the investment you can do in a Netherbird product. But actually, this album it's a compilation of. This is the Boulevard Black, the first single. Then you have Blood Orchid and Ash and Nectar. That's the second EP. And then from Adrift on the Sea of Misery down to Adrift Towards Eternity. That's the Lighthouse Eternal EP. So it's just 2 songs that were made in order to make an album. So it's a compilation of the recordings we did. Not so many people are reflected on that, but the production is different in the different songs, or because they were recorded at different times, different people even. But we did 3 tracks that weren't on it. The Dead Grid Incantation, which is just an intro, and then it's The Blackest Breed, which was also the first video we made. Which we did in HD, which at the time was, you know, new and cool. Today, I mean, you can do that with an iPhone. And Carcass Symphony, where you can also hear Johan Nord, the now departed guitarist. He does the clean vocals there. He has a great voice. But he has decided to do other stuff. So than playing in Netherbird. And I mean, that's how the story goes. But we did this, and it's been re-released with a different cover made by Julia Pivén, who sometimes joins this stream, and she's a fantastic, she paints fantastically, I think. But this is where it started, and that's more than 12 years ago. Time flies. We actually... These are also albums that are like titles that are sold out now. Thank you. I will fix the email and send the stuff to you. You're welcome. Monument Black Colossal. I'll talk about this maybe next stream then. That's the second album. It's sold out now. At least we don't have any more. I think we have a few. I'll do some bundles with them. I love to do bundles so people get a lot of like albums for a good price. But this one is we should re-release that, maybe on vinyl also. I really like the cover. It's very blue. But Necrolord, Christian Wallin, who did this one, he, I mean, obviously done stuff for At the Gates, Tiamat, Dissection. Well, almost every band from Scandinavia has like a necro Necrolord cover art, and he's a great guy. Only met him a few times, but he is really nice, down to earth, and great at what he does. Then there is this one, which is The Ferocious Tides of Fate, also sold out now, out of print. Also needs to be re-released, and I don't even have a booklet for my version. Okay, it certainly does count. I already have, stuff that I should send you, so I'll send some more. I'll send this, and I'll send a necklace, this, and it's what I can do. And I also think Sylvia, not learning new things, but listening to a lot more metal albums this pandemic. I hope you haven't been through so many pandemics. One is enough. I think one is enough for a lifetime. But you need to tell me something positive that you discovered. Give me the best album that you listened to during this pandemic. As long as it's not a Netherbird album, because that doesn't count. They are all great, of course. But I already heard them. Last one. So I would actually say, if you find Monument Black Colossal or Ferocious Tides of Fate, they are not super rare at this point. This one, however, is. This is Abysmal Alert. Also, this one I don't have with a booklet. And the ironic thing is that, so I don't even have some of the titles in a complete thing myself. So I need to buy them at some point. But yeah, that's how life is. Yes, okay. It's superb. But there will be a new album, which is, something I have to say. I all musicians say this. They have to. It's like the law. It's the best album we ever made. I haven't always felt that way when we released stuff, but I can say this album it grows on me a lot, and I think it's a bit darker. It's somewhere in between Grand Voyage and Into the Vast. I actually think it will be an interesting listen, but we'll see. You'll hear it, and then you can tell me what you think. And I'm especially interested in stuff that you find weird or strange or unexpected. Things that people reflect on or react on positively or negatively. Something that stands out. Let's see. Necrophobic, Kvän, Helvik. I really like the Helvik thing. Kvän, of course. Necrophobic, of course. Both of them solid. Necrophobic, that's not unexpected. I would say what's unexpected is that they still got it. That they're still that hungry. That is impressive to me. Kvän was more of a surprise because I didn't know about the project until I heard it. And what I know is that Jacob is writing the next one, and he's doing progress, as it seems. He's always enthusiastic, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be great. And I also saw that Sebastian from Necrophobic will do a guest solo on the... No, it was the vice versa. Actually, Jacob will do a guest solo for Sebastian's new project. That's how it is. Yeah, it's... The metal community is small. Kvän are epic. Yes, they are. It's a remarkable fucking album. But you can also tell it has really spread like wildfire, and people are really picking up on it. and that also makes other people, needless to say, jealous. But I think it was Sepultura that said that, you know, when people started to hate us, then that's when we knew that we were doing something right, and that we were, you know, things were starting to happen. And it always comes with the territory that if someone succeeds with his stuff, you know, that you bled and worked thousands of hours for, there will always be a few people who are not that happy for you. I saw Jacob commenting on that, but then again, I don't think you erect statues over people that never offended anyone. I think sometimes that just comes with, you know, doing stuff your own way, and if you reach some success, there will always be a few people that's like, and I've been like that myself. I've been mad at, and I'm mad at people. So I mean, we're human after all. But in my opinion, it's I always find it. What can I say? I want people to succeed, because the better they are doing, the better for the music I love in general. And if Kven becomes a huge band, it won't happen because it's too extreme music. But the bigger they become, the better it is for the scene that I'm part of. And it's also music that is very reminiscent of stuff that we do. So, I mean, if some people find Kven and they start loving that, then that's just beneficial to other bands, not the other way around. It's not like they're gonna stop listening to Netherbird because now they have Kven and they don't have time to listen to more than one band. That's not how it works. So it's sort of yeah, it's fairly natural. I don't have a mission statement here. I just ramble. Let me see. Please. It's too many different. Ashardodon, Lantern, Leviathan, Sunken, Alcarate, Armageddon. Yeah. Some of those I haven't actually listened to, so I will. Thank you for sharing. Fredda, Kven, Sveven, Necrophobic. Actually, I know that you like those albums because you told me, and two of those I've listened to a lot. That's Kven and Necrophobic. And then I listened to Sveven because you said it was great, and I realized that I hadn't really picked it up on it, and it's fucking amazing. It sounds so old school and so traditional, yet it's fresh, and I really I'm really blown away by that guy and his ability to do stuff that it all sounds familiar, yet I haven't heard it. Big recommendation. I will do like a top 10 also for next stream, but check those out. Yeah, Necrophobic is. I don't know if they did more than one demo. I'm sure they did, but I have the one. I don't remember what it's called. If it's Unholy Prophecies, also the demo. Doesn't matter. But I have that one. So I've been a fan of Necrophobic for a long time, 30 years, I would say, and it's always been solid. They always also been not the biggest band. They never really became huge until actually recently. Now they're starting to get more and more recognition. I mean, they've always been big, but not the biggest. They're still not the biggest, but they're a little bit rising all the time. And it's also because they're solid and you know what you get. But they actually, every album they put out is still... They're still hungry, and not all bands have that. I would say few do after 30 years, but they do. That's impressive. So that gives me also hope that also I should be able to keep the motivation going. And I'm fairly sure I will, in one way or the other. I tried to quit music once, but it didn't really work out. So I had a break for a few years after Benighted that I sort of vanished from, I think, because I started at university and life, you know, bits and pieces. So in 97, 98, something like that, I gave up playing for a few years, but I was back in 2002, so like a 4 or 5 year break. But other than that, I've been doing this constantly. And I have to, because I like it, and because it's fulfilling as fuck. And because actually, to be honest, I mean, it gives me I wouldn't say a purpose, because that sounds like, you know, you're a religious person, but it gives me all the satisfaction that I need as a human being, actually. Not playing and being on stage necessarily, but being, you know, in the community, doing stuff with the community and for the community. And I mean, this is the reason why I met you guys. And I couldn't ask for more. And I'm very fulfilled by the fact that also we sort of found each other in this media. It's a bit weird because it's mainly me sitting here talking as if I had something super important to say, and I really don't. But I enjoy interacting, and this has been for me like a place to vent, but also a place to actually get a lot of energy and you know, try stuff. I've been trying different streaming options, and I wouldn't say I've perfected it in any way, but I've become a little bit better at it. And it also means that now when I take on guests, and that's going to start next year, I also know that it's going to be, you know, it's going to work. And that means also that I can give you guys more insights and meet more, or at least indirectly meet more people. And now the chat is working, which means it's easier for you to interact during the conversations. So next year will be good. Actually, the first guy that I will have on is Linus, who he is in several bands, but he's mostly known, I think, for Sinestro, which is like a almost punk crust black metal project, where he's also playing with the same bassist as the Netherbird, Mikke. So that's it's a small world. And the drummer is the same drummer as in Mikke's other band, Terminal Prospect. And they are a trio, which is a cool format. They're great live. But Linus is also now, he's joined Valkyria. But he also has some other bands, ranging from, I would say, almost singer-songwriter, dark, sinister singer-songwriter to, you know, black metal in various forms. And he is a really cool, energetic guy. So he will be on, I think, on the 4th of January. And then I will have quite a few people that will join. And I will also try to broaden it a little bit, so it will be maybe also a bit rock and neo-folk and some, not just black death metal. I tend to know most people from those bands, but I will try to dig a little bit deeper. And if you know you have any recommendations, people I should talk to, or people you think would be cool if I talk to, let me know, and I'll see what I can do. But I'm not a journalist, so it needs to be people that I can just conversate with. I don't want to, you know, even if I could talk to Nick Cave, I wouldn't, because I would just be a fanboy and I would sit and gawk. Or I would do like the most embarrassing interview ever. So it needs to be people that I can relate to a little bit. Though Nick Cave is one of these people. He's not a really great singer, but he's like a great singer. But I mean, he doesn't sing, you know, it's not pitch perfect, but he is an artist in the true sense that he sings honestly, and that makes it really work and resonate with me. I'm just babbling here. But I have an album left, so I need one more person that has. Let me know one positive thing that happened in your life during 2020. Could be any one of you. One good thing. I bought a dog. I realized I like cats. Anyone? Or did I just lose my internet connection completely? Otherwise, I will have to log in and, create a fake account here. And said, oh, hello. Well, there you go, Alex. You won an album and a keychain. But in order to send that, send me an email to nephente@netherbird.com, because pursue your dreams, start your own band. Okay, Dave, I will find one more album and you get a necklace. Because send me an email, you as well. Because this Santa, he fucking appreciates people doing music. And it is a dream to play music. And the fun thing is that you can't really fail. I mean, when you start your band, you start doing your music, you have already succeeded. And then it's up to you to, if you want, 50 plays on Spotify or 50 million. If you go for 50 million, the risk is that you have succeeded to reach 30 million and you still don't see it as a success. I think we stare at the numbers too much. But I mean, if your dream is to play, you should play. And then you are living your dream. Then your dream can turn into a nightmare, which is normally how it is when you start, to record. But it's your own nightmare. You choose it. So it's no, I'm kidding. It's great. Let us know how it goes with the band. And Alex and Dave, I've been learning how to play and improvise funk on bass. It'll be fun to twist that into death metal later. Yeah, okay. I am super excited about people playing bass and, that are really doing it, not just like a 4-string guitar, but actually, playing the bass. I am like a guitarist, bassist. I do play bass, or that was my instrument where I started. But I can't do the slap and the funk stuff. But I mean, if you listen to, well, you can take any of the really good American bands. Their bassist is, normally an enormously talented musician. I mean, from Suffocation to Cannibal Corpse, and then you have the tech death metal bands, and it's really, really high level these days. But I think, I mean, it started, I guess, with Cynic and these bands, that did a fretless. And, if you can play, to me, it's threatening with people who can play a fretless bass, because that's like a real musician. But that's great. And keep it going. That's all. I mean, I do still play bass a little. And I would love to find, like a gothic, like a Sisters of Mercy sounding project where I could play bass. But I would still, I guess, happen, I might still be the singer. But I would love to play, but it needs to be simplistic, because I'm not super skilled. But I love the bass, and I love, a really good bass clonk, which is always what I'm looking for. And to me, Anthrax, for instance, Nuclear Assault, that type of bass sound, I love that. Let's see. Interestingly attractive. Yeah, well, I guess, I mean, anyone is anyone who's really good at what they do, I tend to find attractive. And I guess, I mean, I don't know, I'm not into dudes, so I can't really say about Nick Cave, but he seems to, be popular enough, so it sounds legit. Do double threat. It's fun as fuck. Don't even know what that is. Enlighten me. Any vocal tips? Yes. Don't compare yourself with anybody else. Find your own voice. Try to find some technique to support you, so you don't, if you do growl or scream, try not to try to find some support so you don't destroy your I mean, you don't need to spit blood. Also, you tend not to have so much amplitude as you think in the beginning. You start screaming, and that works maybe one evening now and then, but if you're gonna tour, you need to find a little bit more of a softer way of growling and screaming. And it's your voice. It's very personal. It can never be wrong. Whatever you do, it's. I mean, and as if you listen to almost all the bands, I mean, all the vocalists of the old times, they had their own different style, and they could have been right or wrong or whatever, but they did it. I mean, everything from Bursum to Bolt Throw, it's a big spread there, and you can't really go wrong if you feel it's honest. But it takes time. Give it time. I'm still learning when it comes to the vocals, and I think I used to do a very broad spectrum from really high-pitched screaming to low growls. Then I sort of tried to work with the mid, and then it became almost only mid. Now I try to incorporate a little bit, but trying to make them blend. So I think vocals, like any instrument, is like a lifelong journey. You find new aspects, and actually it's funny, Samurai Panda Guns here has been my vocal coach, but then I did clear vocals, like clean singing mostly, but it really taught me a lot of stuff when it comes to working with the instrument of vocals. So I've become a much better growler by trying different, classical vocal tips, stuff that any vocalist can put into use, but it actually made my timing better, I think, and it made the recording of the latest album better. So I'd say also keep doing it, but also don't spend too much time comparing to other people. Barney will always sound like Barney Greenway, and Carl in Bolt Thrower will always sound like him, but so they already exist. So if you can find something that sounds different, it doesn't mean it's right or wrong. One guy wrote to me and asked if I thought his vocals sounded, true, and he meant it. Is this really, black metal? And it is black metal. If you say it's black metal, it fucking is black metal. That's the first rule. The second rule is that you can't really say that this is. He was fairly close to Grift or to Vikenes. And I mean, to me, it sounded totally legit, very extreme actually. But people had told him that it's that's not how you. Whatever. There's always this elitish asshole who will tell people what's right or wrong, but don't trust that person. It's completely unnecessary. So, as a vocalist, I can only say, try to find a technique that is bearable in the long run. If you can do it in a rehearsal room, in the beginning it's fucking hard, but I mean, after a while you can do a 2-hour rehearsal. And if you can do a 2-hour rehearsal, it means that you have a technique that makes it possible, surely, for you to do 1 hour per night on a tour. But also try not to go to the top extremes, because if you get a cold on tour, those small things tend to be very hard to do. So try to find also a way to do it a little bit less extreme. It will still work, especially live. In the studio it's a little bit different, but I recorded 2 albums with a cold, and it made me, I had to withdraw a little bit of some aspects, but it actually worked out pretty fine. But if you listen to Into the Vast Uncharted, I had a really terrible cold there. So the vocals is maybe a little bit toned down. It's not as extreme. It's a little bit safe. It still worked out, I think. Let's see. Blah, 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 ta-da, ta-da. It's good to see you, another Jane. The front singer of Red Warszawa started going to vocal coach to learn to save his voice so he didn't lose his voice during show. Not to get good at singing. It's a drink, understand? But it's just doing that he got better at it. Yeah, it's if your thing is not to be good at something and you become good, but actually if you're really good at something, you can fake not being so good at it. It's harder the other way around. It's hard to fake that you're good at something you're not. But if you're really good at something, you can sort of fake that you're not so good at it. But I think you come to a certain point, if you're an extremely good vocalist, I think it can be hard to sing out of key because it will just, hurt you. I don't know that. I'm not a super key person. But I go with honesty, and I go with energy. But I also try different stuff out, and I read, I think it was, don't remember which album it was, but it was one of the albums we did. I think it was The Grand Voyage, where someone complained that there were 3 vocalists in the band, and last time I checked, it's just me. They are backing vocals, but this is how it also, people can find it very strange if you change your vocals a lot around, or you don't give a fuck about that. And I do like to have it varied. But I also realize that some people find it confusing. But then again, the world is confusing. Now I've been talking here for a long time. So I'm going to sum it up, because I need to clear this room from all the construction junk that's everywhere. If this was a home construction stream, I would now take the camera to the walk-in closet that I've built, but I won't, because this is about music. I'm delighted that you guys showed up again. Thank you so much for that. It's a bit impromptu, and the next stream next week will also be a little bit more casual. It will be just yours truly talking, and then I start, we're gonna have some guests on, and it's gonna be the trio with me and Nine and Walter bantering about stuff that we find important that might not be so important, but we'll roll from here. Good Jul, Merry Christmas in return. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Always a privilege. Never hesitate to send me an email or tweet me or whatever. I try to learn Twitter. I suck at it, but if challenge me, or comment, subscribe, whatever. And now here's my Streamlab botting again. I need to calm that fucker down a little bit. In any case, I wish you all a really happy Christmas, and see you in a week. Don't drink too much glögg, beer, wine, but make sure to drink as much as you need. Stay sane, keep distance, wash the hands, wear a mask if it's, what you're supposed to do. And don't spread conspiracy theories. And see you in a week. Cheers. I will just try to find the fucking outro. See you.